Hello friends, welcome back to Technique. This is Nirmal here, and in this video we'll be doing the detailed camera review of the new device from Redmi, the Redmi Note 13 Pro Plus 5G. So Redmi Note series has been always known for good camera setup, and the Redmi Note 13 Pro Plus is not different. It has a really good camera setup. It has a 200 megapixel triple camera setup. So in this video we'll be having a look at how good the camera experience is on the Redmi Note 13 Pro Plus 5G. So before going into the detailed camera aspects, if this is your first time on the channel, do hit that red subscribe button and also hit the bell icon to get notified of all the videos we publish. So let's first have a look at the hardware offered. Now the rear camera comes with a 200 megapixel ultra high resolution camera. It's a Samsung's ISOCELL HP3 sensor, and it comes with a 12.5 megapixel mode. You also get a 50 megapixel mode, and you can also shoot photos in 200 megapixel mode. It has a f1.65 large aperture. There is also ALD, which is anti-glare professional coating included, and this also has optical image stabilization and electronic image stabilization offered. Now the secondary camera is a typical 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera with f2.2 aperture, and the third is a 2 megapixel macro sensor with f2.4 aperture. Now on the front camera, we have a 16 megapixel selfie camera with f2.45 aperture. So let's go straight into the camera samples to see how they perform. So in terms of daylight conditions, you can see here the Redmi Note 13 Pro Plus 5G offers good details. The colors are rich and vibrant, the images are bright and plenty of details on offer. The dynamic range is also done really well, and you can see that the colors look more or less natural, although there is a hint of vibrancy in the images. But overall I would say they're good, and the dynamic range especially is pretty good, and you can see the sharpness levels are also impressive, which is pretty much evident when you zoom into the pictures. So overall I would say in terms of daylight condition there is hardly anything to complain. The colors are good, the tones are richer, and the Redmi Note 13 Pro Plus 5G also offers in-sensor zoom, that's 4x zoom, and it actually offers pretty good zoom, and there is good details and clarity in the images, and they are pretty good actually. So that was the daylight captures. Now 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera also retains pretty good colors, almost similar to the primary camera. The sharpness levels are not as good as the primary camera for obvious reasons, but overall I would say the colors are retained pretty well on the ultra wide angle cameras as well. Now if you look at the close-up shots, they're good in details, great sharpness levels, and also the colors looks pretty good and vibrant as well. So once again Redmi has done quite a good job here, I would say, in terms of color reproduction. Now overall quality of the close-up shots also came out pretty good. Now the 2 megapixel macro camera I would say is kind of very much average, nothing great to talk about it, and the details and sharpness levels and also colors looks muted here, so nothing great about the 2 megapixel macros. Now in terms of portrait experience, once again the skin tones are good. There is good amount of details offered. There is sharpness levels as well. The background blur also looks pretty good in the portraits. But one thing what we didn't like is the sky colors are not rendered that great. There is a kind of white balance issue in the portraits, and HDR is not that impressive, especially when it comes to sky colors. But these are some things which can be improved with software updates. But overall portrait and edge detection definitely looks good on the Redmi Note 13 Pro Plus 5G. Let's move on to the low light experience. In indoor and artificial light, you can see that there is plenty of details. Once again, good colors are offered, and if you look at the extreme low light images, the images taken in with the night mode turned on, once again you can see that the dynamic range is really good and the sharpness levels are maintained really well, and there is a really good effort to reduce the noise, and you can see that the images are clear and crisp, and they are devoid of noise. So the 4x in-sensor zoom also works with the low light as well, and works pretty well. So overall I would say the low light experience is definitely good on the Redmi Note 13 Pro Plus 5G. Let's move on to the selfies. Here we would say again personal choice, but I would certainly say that the Redmi Note 13 Pro Plus 5G selfies are pretty good. The skin tones are once again done really well, and again they are more of a personal choice, but I would say the colors and the dynamic range also looks good, and the edge detection in portrait mode also is quite acceptable, I would say, and even in low light selfies it turned out to be quite decent. Now next let's move on to the video recording. The phone can record videos in 4K 30 fps and 4K 24 fps, and the stabilization is done really well. You can see here there is OIS plus EIS combination, and the video footage looks very smooth. The colors are rich and sharpness levels are also impressive. The dynamic range also looks good. The 4K 30 FPS is really good. Now there is also 1080p 60 FPS. It's quite similar to the 4K video. There is good details on offer. The stabilization is also done well, and overall quality of the 1080p 60 FPS also looks pretty good. Again, you also get the 1080p at 30 FPS, once again quite similar, and stabilization is done really well on the Redmi Note 13 Pro plus 5G. The OIS plus EIS combination does really good job in terms of stabilization. Now there is also ultra wide angle camera. It is kind of decent, I would say, because it's an 8 megapixel shooter which can record in 1080p resolution, and it's a decent overall camera experience. So this is the front facing camera sample taken using the Redmi Note 13 Pro plus 5G in 1080p at 60 FPS. So that's the maximum resolution supported, 1080p 30 and 1080p 60 FPS. So you can judge yourself how good the clarity of the video is and also the audio output. So this is the front facing camera sample taken in 1080p at 30 FPS using the Redmi Note 13 Pro plus 5G. So that is the camera review of the Redmi Note 13 Pro plus 5G. So overall I would say it's a pretty good camera setup in terms of daylight conditions. The ultra wide angle also did quite good job. There is 4x in sensor zoom, which also does pretty good in terms of sharpness levels. The portraits are done well, but then the dynamic range and also the color reproduction of skies was not that impressive. There is a kind of white balance issue, I would say, but portraits did look pretty good. But I would say there is a bit more fine tuning required in the portraits. Otherwise it's a pretty good camera. And in terms of low light experience, it's once again pretty good. There is good amount of sharpness offered, the noise is kept to minimum, and there is plenty of details on offer in the low light experience as well. Once again, selfies turned out to be pretty good, and the video recording is quite good and impressive because it's an OIS plus EIS combination. So the Redmi Note 13 Pro plus 5G on the whole looks like a pretty good package out there. There is a bit more fine tuning required for portraits, but otherwise it's a solid camera which won't disappoint users. So that was the camera review of the Redmi Note 13 Pro plus 5G. So what do you guys think about the cameras on the Redmi Note 13 Pro plus 5G? Do let us know your thoughts in the comment section. This is Normal signing off. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in our next video. Have a great day.